Welcome to the Dream Catalyst podcast. I'm Joan Daniels, your host, and I am super excited for you to tune in to this live coaching session where we take someone from vision to strategic action plan and all that it entails. You guys, this one's so good, we had to split it into two parts. I cannot wait for you to listen. This is my beautiful, smart, brilliant, kind, amazing daughter, Faith. Thank you, Faith, for being on and being brave to be coached on a live podcast. You are so awesome.
Of course.
Well, so little background about Faith. She is a senior at University of Texas at Austin. She's graduating with a degree in biology and a minor in business. And she is going on to dental school. And then the intention is to go on to orthodontic school. Correct, Faith?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Faith came to my visionary workshop that we did in January on kind of building your clarity and your vision around 2025. So really quick, Faith, just as a general, like, what do you feel like as a younger college, starting to launch into life person? Because we had all kinds of people there, right? We had business people. We had all kinds of people there. A lot of different ages. Actually, we had a teenager there too. Well, more than one teenager there. So it was a great workshop, but what did you get out of it? Like, what was your takeaways from that?
Well, definitely the vision exercise. I think I had been visualizing like bits and pieces, but to do everything like all at once for dental school was really like I started crying. Like it was really impactful for me because I think it solidified and like really showed me like I want this. This is something that I'm gonna go get. And it gave me something to work for. Like it was very it like fueled a lot of motivation for me to do the hard things to get there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting because I had someone say the other day, and I want you to speak to this just because, why not? We're on a podcast anyway, right? We're already telling everybody everything anyway. But she said, it must be interesting to be your child, being that you've been a coach for all these years. Do you have a take on that?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm very blessed to have you as a mom because I feel like I understand a lot of things about life that you've taught me my whole life. So I feel like I was set up very well with like habits, mindset stuff. I do also feel like it's helpful because when I have like spiral out moments, when I get really overwhelmed and frustrated and I start catastrophizing about the future that hasn't even here. I'm like 50 years in the future, like my life is over. And you're like, dude, chill out. Like I have someone to call me. You know what I mean? I can always call you and then you can help me. You can essentially coach me for free through through the stuff that I'm dealing with.
Very good. Well, I was not prepared for what your answer was. We did not talk about that before we started the camera, or the recording. So, I love that. Thank you. And I'm privileged and honored to be your mom. I mean, you know that. I tell you that all the time. Like, I feel so like what an amazing, not only an amazing adventure, but like what an amazing privilege it is to be a parent. So, it's really cool. My favorite phase of parenting is this phase where we kind of went from the rule keeper and the, taskmaster and stuff to like coaching. Like, this is my favorite part because, I get to see you do all the things that you want to do in life and like get to be there for all those moments and even the hard stuff. I feel very honored that we get to go through that with you. I just view that as my job as a parent. And I've been told it doesn't stop. Like, you could be 50 like me, and my dad still feels like, oh, not only am I still your parent, but I'm still kind of a coach and still want all the things for you that you want for yourself and more, so it's such a cool thing. But okay, so let's go back to the visionary workshop. So I love that you said that about the visualization. So I want to tell people, if you listen to my January 2025 vision podcast, and you were like, okay, I kind of got it, but I didn't quite get it, this podcast will probably help you. Just the coaching through this piece. Also, a lot of people have trouble with, they might be able to get the end goal, but then getting all the other pieces. So if that's something that you're struggling with, I feel like it's something that you can really gather from just going through this process and listening. And by the way, this is the value of group coaching right here is it doesn't really matter if you're a business person or if you're a life person that just needs coaching. It's an interesting process to hear other people be coached. So Faith is being so brave to come on with me and do this. I didn't even ask a client yet, Faith. Is that so funny? I asked you first because you're just in an easily coachable place right now because you're transitioning from college to adulting. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's just such a perfect, sweet spot for people to hear. Anyway, my point is, I think this is going to help anybody and everybody. So, everybody, it's going to be fun. So, yay, Faith, for being brave. So, Faith, I know you have your vision board you created because the visionary workshop, we created a vision, a visualization, a movie that you watch that you play through your head, right? So that you're visualizing your future and what you want. Because again, you guys, the brain is so focused on what we don't want most of the time and how annoyed we are by that, or like Faith is saying, we're catastrophizing into the future, right? And we're just predicting all this doom and gloom. Hello, thanks, COVID. Like we really did, right? We went through that phase where we were all stuck in that kind of swirled up thinking. So, but my point is just, I love that you were able to create a vision board because even though I know you're probably playing that movie in your head, Faith, that we did that exercise, which we'll explain kind of towards the end, but also to have a visual. I mean, this is kind of a teeny tiny vision board up here. I love to travel. I love my family. Um, but you want to have something up to remind you every day of, hey, this is where you're going. There's so many reminders of what you're not, and homeless Bob, the voice in your head that wants you to be homeless too, is what I call it. You can call it the enemy. I don't care what you want to call it, but that negative Nancy in your or Nelly in your head that is just rah, 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 about that, you're terrible and da 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 da. We have to combat that by inputting good things. So, would you mind showing us your beautiful vision board that you created, just so kind of we get an idea?
Of course. This has been hanging on my wall for about a month now.
Yay! And when you look at it, just kind of generally tell us kind of what your vision's about.
Well, this corner is kind of body healthy. It's gym and eating right and going outside, getting some sun, and my passion is dancing, so making time for that. This bottom corner is kind of about financial health, getting debt free, and being really smart with my money. Um, this is also going outside and going on walks. This appears kind of academic for me. I want to read more. This is my vision for graduation, and then this is for dental school, which I'm currently in the process of reapplying for. And
Yes.
then this in the middle is just kind of fun my fun stuff and my reminders to myself to be calm, be present, and do fun things.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, what people don't really understand, and Faith, I know you know this because you've lived with me and you've done vision boards before, but your brain is very visual. Now, some people don't have the vision that's clear in their head, if that makes sense. Some people see a clear kind of like almost like a movie screen or a TV screen. For some people, it's very fuzzy. And then there's, a small percentage of people that literally cannot visualize, but generally your brain works in pictures, right? So, it's really powerful to have pictures up of what you want or reminders of what you want or words of what you want. It really doesn't matter. It's just a visual, like boom, goes this input your because your brain is literally like scanning the environment all the time, right? And we know there's like, I don't know, what's the number? 4 million. That's totally made up number, but like 4 million advertising messages we're getting a day. I mean, I'm literally here with my Starbucks. I mean, like how many impressions of Starbucks or Apple or, anything do we get every day? So it's just a way for us to just remind your brain, like, hey, don't forget this. Hey, this is the direction you're going. And Faith, do you ever like, are you ever in the spin? Do you ever pop in your visualization that you had that movie, or do you ever look at the poster, or have you kind of already forgotten that in the month plus that we've been going?
I've definitely forgotten it a little bit. Like it's hard to like keep, it's we're human. It's like the natural thing that we forget that we just lose that. Um, but like what I get out of the vision board is in the mornings. So like when I'm getting ready, like it's right next to where I turn on my light, turn off my light. So even as I'm leaving for the day, I turn my lamp off and the vision board is the last thing I see before I walk out the door. right? So it's like, where am I going? What do I need to do today? Like the words be present, I didn't realize I wrote them in red. That's a really big thing for me. Like I am always like, what's the next thing? And I don't live in the moment enough, I think. And that's one of the things I've been working on. And I wrote be present in red. And so it's like that and the going outside are just the two things that I just like zero in on because that red just like pulls me. And I'm so glad I wrote it in red because every day before I leave, I do see the be present for a while.
Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about that really quick because I know this last semester, I mean, really, this whole past year has been kind of a spin up in your head year. It's been a, what I like to call it, the snow globe all shaken up. And what happens to your brain and to your body and to your stress level and your cortisol level and blah, 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 all the things when your brain is doing that is you're in total chaos, right? And you're completely not present because you're all stuck up in your head. And so, tell us, like, what are the things that you do? And I mean, I know you're in process like the rest of us. I'm so proud of you for saying that. Like, everybody forgets. It doesn't matter if you have your goal poster and you have sticky notes all over your car and all of your bathroom, like I do. It doesn't matter how many things you do. That's why sometimes you need a little reminder. So just FYI, Faith, if you need an extra reminder, do some sticky notes here and there, and then change those up so that you've got like a new fresh thing your brain's like, oh, that's new, and it'll pay more attention to. But if you need to be present, like be present. But tell us, what are you doing, because I just know personally as your mama that you've struggled a little bit with that. So tell us, what have you put in place to calm down your mind and really, like we talk about all the time, the roller coaster of life on the ship that's peacefully flowing down the river. Like, what do you do to touch that peace for yourself?
Um, a lot of it is partially because sometimes I can't see it myself until somebody interrupts that pattern. So the last time I had like a really crazy, insane spin up thing in my head, I was like kind of venting to my best friend and I was like, this is just crazy. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like everything is insane. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Like, and I was literally projecting like decades into the future. And I was like, basically my life is ruined 40 years from now. And she looked at me and she goes, you're 21. Like she interrupted that pattern for me because I'm still not at a place sort of where I can't really sometimes recognize it. And so like I really need somebody else sometimes to just like shut that down and go, wait, you made that up. Like that was completely insanely made up in your head. That was all fake. Like none of that is real. None of that is true. You're projecting things that don't exist. Like it's not real.
Amen.
And so after I have those moments when the screaming wind and crazy like bees almost in my brain finally shut up and it's silent, um, I spend the next day or so like trying to put in good calm things. I go back to my YouTube videos or my podcasts that I've had in the past that I know like calm me down and ground me and keep me on the right path. um
Very good.
yeah.
Well, and let's just go ahead and talk about that. So, if that's a continuing problem, let's talk about what are the things that you can put in place in your calendar on purpose this time. Not just like when you're spun up, but like to continuously help you touch that piece on a regular basis. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. What things make your brain settle
um
and your heart settle?
Really meditation. Like the last time that I went to like a yoga meditation sort of thing that the university was doing, and just to like sit and be quiet. So it doesn't even have to be like an event or whatever. Like I think if I put on my calendar stuff where I just schedule time where I literally just sit and like put on a YouTube meditation or something for, just positivity or calmness or whatever, like just taking quiet time. I never do that. I always have my phone. I always have my friend. I mean, my roommates are my best friends. So like even when I'm home, like I don't get the quiet time. Or then when I'm home alone, I'll have my TV going or I'll have Instagram.
So true. I mean, that's everyone, Faith. It's not just you. You are
Yeah.
not alone. This is the whole world.
But
So
I
let
don't
me
think
just
we're made for that. I think we are
yeah.
made for the quiet, and
No,
we
absolutely.
always have this
It's
input.
insane the amount of input that we put into our brains every day. So let's talk about this. Well, so I know you have roommates, you know, what, 4 roommates in an apartment. You've got classes, you've got all this stuff. So even though you may not be able to every day, especially if it's cold outside. I mean, we're in Texas, so wait a day, it'll be a warm, but but getting outside in the morning in the sunshine for at least 15 minutes. I mean, 15 minutes of sunshine is huge. Okay. Second, I would say too, don't forget that that quiet time that you were just talking about that you really desperately need doesn't have to be anywhere but your room right now. You can put in your AirPods or your earbuds and you can put on I mean, you're welcome to do a meditation thing. I oftentimes, because it's just fast, I have on my Apple Music classical study focus, which is just classical music that's real soft and calm, and intentionally have your quiet time. Now, you know me, I'm going to tell you to pray during that time. I'm going to tell you to give all your worries to God. And then I'm going to tell you to thank Him and then visualize what you want before you're done. And then ask God, what do I need to know about any of this? What do I need to do? I would say the number one thing that has got me through, and you know, we've been through a lot of craziness the last 4 years. The one thing that's got me through is that I do that every day. I can't skip it. Like I found that my day's not as good if I skip it. Not only that, but then all the good ideas, all the magic, all the direction comes from that. What do I need to know? What do I need to do time? Have you done that at all? Or is this something kind of like we need to put in place?
I need to put that in there. I've been told to do that, but I've never like actually
Like
executed
scheduled it. Yeah.
or scheduled it. Yeah.
Yes. So I find it's just easiest to do it right when you wake up because otherwise you get into chaos, right? So you know me. I mean, you know me. I get up, I immediately make a pot of coffee, and then I immediately take my coffee to the same spot in the house where I have the beautiful view of outside and I sit there. Now, I've changed it up now that it's a little warmer because I go outside into the sun and I sit on the patio on the pool deck, right? So I get sun, I have my coffee, and I have my quiet time first. Now, I also do a devotional on my phone, a Bible study. Sometimes I do my quiet time first. Sometimes I do the Bible study first and then do my quiet time. So, I mean, I would say my quiet time in the morning total with a Bible study is probably 30 minutes. But you don't have in seasons like you're in when you're finishing up college and you're da 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 da, you have all this stuff coming at you. You may not be able to do 30 minutes. You could do 10, you could do 5. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I spent an hour and a half with my quiet time. No. Okay. But what I would suggest, especially in times of turmoil, that you do that, you put this practice into place first thing when you get up and last thing before you go to bed. And then
Mhm.
I like, and I don't know if you do this, Faith, but I like having something, and of course you have your desk right there, but I like having something, a journal, something on my, if you notice on my nightstand, I always have something there to write in with a pen. And that way, if I have the, spun up moment right before I go to sleep, do you struggle with this?
I
Like
have
all
that
the things I have to do tomorrow and blah, 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 blah.
almost every night. Like it almost every night. Like woo, like I just get super spun up in my head. Like I'm just like I shower so then I'm thinking about what I need to do to go to bed, to get ready for tomorrow, to get all this together, to make sure I'm ready, to make sure I've got, whatever. Oh, I need to get gym clothes today. We're meeting at the gym after work. Oh, this. And like right before bed, like I feel like in the morning when I wake up, my brain is quiet. I'm tired. I'm waking up. When I'm falling asleep, I'm like worried about what's happening tomorrow. And I'm super
Okay.
just all these thoughts. Like I do that almost every night.
Okay, I'm so glad we're talking about this. So this is what it takes to get rid of all those thoughts is and I'm a huge fan of writing them down. I know we're in a digital world and people want to do it on their phone. There is something about the act of physically writing that gets it out of your stress head and out of your body. I don't know. Try it, see. Maybe there's people out there that it just needs to be digital. I'm fine with that too. Whatever works for you, but before you go to bed. And maybe for you, it might work to do this before you get in the shower. I'm just saying, because you can shower without thinking pretty much. and have your quiet time in the shower. So the combination of the warm water and the peace and talking to God about all your issues and handing over all your burdens to him and asking him, what do you need me to know? What do you need me to do? Might be helpful because it consolidates how long you're doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you already have to
Yeah,
shower. So you
yeah,
might as well. So if you think of your shower at night as you're like washing away of the stress and you're washing away of the fear and you're washing away the doubts, you're washing away all the homeless bomb thoughts in your head. And then you're pouring in peace and comfort and warmth and God's direction. And then that whole shower, I mean, I don't know how long you shower, 10 minutes
yeah.
is like a spa day. It's like a mini spa day every day. And I'm just going to say out loud, in case someone's listening, you can do this in the reverse. You could do plan. I wake up. I have to write down all the things for the day, and then have my quiet time with God in the shower. I'm okay with that. And Faith, do you know one of the number one spots over all of my life? You probably can guess. One of the number one things I do to get quiet. Do you know what it is? No. You
Mhm.
don't know? If as soon as I say it, you're like, "Oh, of course it is." I take an Epsom salts bath. Like, if I'm really, like, up in my head, I mean, I take an Epsom salts bath anyway, but if I am like, "Oh, I really just I gotta, like, get quiet," then I will go get in the bathtub, right? Sometimes I light a candle. I've learned to, like that's part of my self-care.
Candles, I love candles.
Candles, I know, right? I mean, just the little things that are like, "I love you, Joan, you have to take care of yourself, like, take a love bath," you know? Put
Yeah.
some rose petals in it, I don't know. I don't know that you wanna do that in your I don't know that you wanna do that in your shower, but you can come to the house
Right.
and do that. I think you could make your shower just like having that. And so then when you go to bed, you're in this very calm, peaceful place where you can be drifting off to sleep with your visualization of what you want to come. Because I think one of the things that you probably glom onto, just you're the firstborn child, you've always been an old soul. I feel like you know what you want and you want to go after it. I mean, you're just kind of one of those driven people. But you're probably just getting caught up in too much of the striving and not enough of the I'm visualizing it so that I know I'm going towards it and then letting it go.
Yeah, that the letting it go is the
Yeah.
piece I need to work
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So that's part of it, I think, is understanding well, first of all, my last podcast was You Are Enough. And I'm not kidding you. I know you've heard it all your life, but it's probably the best podcast ever. I've already had multiple comments and people sending me, I had a snail mail card and people are telling me I was bawling through the whole thing.
Oh,
I can't tell you what it meant to me. I'm like, wow. Like I know as a coach that you are enough, like saying, I'm not enough and striving to be enough is like a thing. And I want you to start to treat your future, what you're building, your life that you want to go towards, instead of as like this, I've got to have it. It's like this would be fun.
mm, I'm writing that down.
Thank you. Thank you. This would be an adventure. This would be fun. This would be exciting. It's not because here's the deal. And you know this because you've seen me evolve. We don't know. None of us know what we're actually going to do. Right.
Yeah,
Even though this is the direction you want to go, who knows where God's going to take you? Like it's an adventure. It is a roller coaster ride, not a climb. So quit treating it like a climb and start treating it like a ride. Now, I'm not saying because if you got in your car and started driving today, you need to know where you're going. You need to know where you want to go to even get close to getting there, right? Even if you didn't have a map, you'd at least need to have an intention of where you wanted to go, or you just end up some random place. So I'm with you on the driven part. I'm the same way. But if you treat it as, wouldn't it be fun if, or wouldn't it be fun when, or it's going to be so exciting when, and you replace the, oh, I've got to do, or else,
much
kind of
time
thinking.
I spend, like, telling I have to remember to do this, I have to remember to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that, like, I have to's, like, I have to be it has to be in my head, I have to worry about it because if I don't worry about it, I'm gonna forget it, and I have to remember to do it, and I have to remember to whatever. Like, it's
What can you
exhausting.
do? It is exhausting.
Stuff.
It is so exhausting. So what can you do to get that out of your head and out in the world? What do you do?
I do a
Or what
lot of
can you do?
lists. I make a lot
Yes.
of lists.
Right. I love lists because there's something really satisfying about marking it off.
That too.
There's an app called Todoist,
Okay.
Todoist, that I just downloaded from a friend who suggested it. And it's an app where you can cross things off. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. So anyway, I haven't really gotten into it. I literally haven't set it up. So I don't know anything about it other than to say there's some apps out there now. If people want an app instead of a list, but lists are just fine and they're cheap. And you probably have a piece of paper somewhere close to you that you can
Or a
write on.
notes or a notes app on your
Or a
phone.
notes app, or yeah, but I don't know. On the notes app, can you cross it out?
No, I
Like I
just
want to, I don't want to delete
I
it. I
just
want,
highlight it, delete it.
yeah, I'm a big crosser outer. Anyway, so lists are great. So what else? What else could you do to get it out of your head? And
I pretty much do lists. I
okay,
I do lists
so
or I do calendar. Like if there's an event that's coming up, I write it on my calendar. But
very good. So when you do the list or the calendar, does it then calm your mind down?
no, because I then don't. I don't. Well, it will originally, but I feel like there's a lot of I don't let it go because
Mm.
I'm like, well, what if I forget? What if I forget? What if I don't do it? What if I whatever?
So if you do it in your calendar and you set an alarm, maybe, right? Or I mean, alarm that's appropriate if you need to have an alarm. Um, or a task, I know like on the Apple phones, you can put in a task.
Yeah.
So, something that will stay on your calendar every day until you say completed. Do you do that? Or is that only me? Because
Like
I
a
use maybe I have a different calendar.
like a reminder.
Oh, I have Google Calendar. That's what I'm using. Duh. So Google Calendar allows you on the little plus sign, you can put in a task for the day and then it stays at the top. So just FYI, if you have a Gmail, the to do thing is a big deal for everybody. And I think you're like me in that if I don't have a reminder, sometimes I'll forget it because I have too many other things to do.
Yeah.
And we as women have what you call multiple windows open. If you think about on your computer, or like you guys always make fun of me on my phone, how many windows I have open and that I need to shut, right? So one of the things that's true about the way our brain works is we will not let go of it till we know we can close the window, right? So to me, putting it, on a task where I won't forget it because it's on my calendar, writing it down, like I said, having something by your bedside table so you can write it down so that you will not forget it. Stick in a sticky note somewhere you'll see it. I mean, something that will help you then eliminates the diatribe in my head of, oh no, I'm going to forget that. No, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Now, another idea is to do a 6 most important things list. That's from Mary Kay Ash, just so you know. She was a big proponent of that. Before you go to bed at night for tomorrow. And she would always say, do 6 things for business and 6 things for personal if you need to, but try to keep it to 6 things because ultimately not all 6 will probably get done, right? But it's a beautiful thing to be able to scratch those off. So that might be something like if you just have a piece of paper or a journal by your bedside that's clipped to the day and you write down 6 most important things to do tomorrow, before you shower, right? Before your quiet time, before you get calm. 6 most important things to do for my personal life, 6 most important to do for my, school life or whatever, right? Then, and maybe you only have 3. That's awesome. But have that down so that you then first thing in the morning have a way to flip and remind yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And then mark it off. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about, you've got the vision of going to, I mean, is that what you want to work on? Is the vision of going to dental school?
We can work on dental school. We can work on eating better. We can work on
Well, let's do dental school just because I feel like that's kind of your most stress right now.
yeah, that
Okay.
sounds
So this year, everyone, if you know anything about dental school, it's like med school or anything else. It's not easy to get in. It's really hard to get in these days. And Faith applied and just didn't get in this year. So she's had to deal with that and she has an amazing job offer, full-time job offer right after school. So she's in a great place. But she really, really wants to get into dental school. And I can identify because when I applied to PT school, I got waitlisted the first year, did not get in, and then had to do all kinds of stuff for the whole next year and then reapply. So I'm with you, Faith. Like it took me a full year. So from the moment you graduate, it would have taken me this entire year from 2025 to 2026. And then I reapplied at the summer of like 2027. Does that make sense? I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't that year, it was like 1997, but you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I took an entire year to up my science GPA, blah, 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 and then reapplied. And I worked full time in the industry, just like you are. Got great recs. I did all the things that you did, right? So I just want you to know, like, here's the biggest thing: if you aren't getting to a place where you want to get in life, don't shut down and tell yourself, "Oh, I can't." Like, you know that. If you want something, go for it. Can you give me a big example of something that you've done like that in life
Yeah.
already?
I didn't get into UT the first time I applied, and I got into the CAP program, and I didn't even get into UTSA for the CAP program. That was pretty much the only school I wanted to go to. So I went to UTSA as a regular freshman, and then I just worked on my grades, and I just tried to keep visualizing it, and then I reapplied to UT, and I got in as a transfer for my sophomore year.
Yeah. And that was such a great moment. What a great triumphant moment. So I just want to bring that up because when homeless Bob starts to tell you you can't do it, and you're not going to get in, and right? You need to bring up, oh, I've already done this. You
Mhm.
can't tell me that. I've already done this. And that's what, David Goggins, the amazing Navy SEAL, he's written a couple books. He's a great motivational speaker. If you don't mind hit cuss words. But he's like my person is like, go for it. He would tell you, that is okay, Holly, hang on. What was I going with for that? Gotta cut that collie. Hang on. What was I gonna say?
He would tell you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like a million David Goggins things came into my brain, but I don't know. What were we talking about before that?
I've already gotten in. I've already done this before.
Oh, thank you. There you go. Okay, Holly, here you go. So David Goggins calls it your cookie jar. And you have to remember the cookie jar. You have to remember the good things you've already accomplished, the things you've already proven yourself in, so that when homeless Bob's trying to tell you you can't do it, you're like, oh yeah, I've already done it. I've already done this before. Okay. So that's why it's really interesting to me that you're going through this. It's like, you've already done this. You know exactly what to do. Okay. I think the other thing is that homeless Bob likes to tell us that because you didn't get it the first time or you didn't whatever accomplish your goal, lose the weight, you had your January resolution and you crashed and it was, January 3rd, right? Whatever it is, you ate all the cookies, you done it. It's like then you decide that you suck. And so you just keep like sabotaging yourself. Is it just me? I think I think
Yeah.
that's a human condition. Like we just go into this funk of, oh, well, of course, because I suck and I'm not enough. I'm just going to keep rolling on that. I'm terrible. And so I'm just going to make it happen because it's just easy to make
Yeah.
it happen. Right. Instead of realizing that you can open the cookie jar metaphorically. I just say that for myself because I'm a sugar addict. And you have to look at what have I done in my life already that I can show myself, look, you've already been through stuff. You've been through harder stuff than this. This isn't even hard stuff. You have a full-time job, Faith. How many students graduating already have a full-time job? That's a cookie to put in your cookie jar. How many students already didn't get into their dream school, went to a different school, worked their butt off, didn't party all the time to work their butt off because they were determined to go get into the school that they wanted? That would be you, Faith Daniels. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you got to pull that stuff out of your cookie jar to go, I am a badass and I can make this happen. Right? You with me?
Mhm.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that might need to be something. I mean, just as a suggestion, if you're really stuck in that funky headspace, to put some things up that are reminders of that, like a little sticky note that goes, you've already done this. You've already done this before, right? It's specifically about getting into dental school. You already know what to do. So what if it takes you a full year? So if you take the whole next year and take science and kick butt on the DAT, I mean, so I think taking out of the equation, well, now I can't do it because I've been disappointed, let myself down, or just didn't hit my goal, whatever is going on, for anybody out there, not just you. I'm just saying in general, if that's the deal, don't decide that now you're taking yourself out of the game, right? You have to realize that the game of life is your whole life. It's not just getting into dental school. It's not just losing the weight. It's not just making your business a success. I mean, the entire life is a game, right? Of you working towards what you want. So, okay, so let's go into kind of specifics because we have the vision. So, talk about the vision of dental school for you.
Ooh, like the movie that you gave me?
Well, yeah, you can talk about the movie, but I just mean in general. You don't even have to go specific yet. Like, tell me generally, what do you want? What do you really, really, really want?
I want to get interviews at all 4 dental schools. I want to have in Texas.
That's in Texas, yeah.
I want to get a choice. I want to have so many people
Mhm.
want me at their school that I have a hard time picking where I'm going to go for the next 4 years. That's what I want.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I love that. And just to help people have perspective, you just had a talk with someone and tell us how that went.
Yeah, so yesterday I met with the UT Health Professions office, and the lady I talked to was like the head person of the whole thing for dental school. And we kind of went over what I was working with, and she basically was like, at the end of the conversation, she was like, "So now, after what we talked about, are you even gonna apply this cycle? Are you even still gonna apply?" And
Oh,
I was like, "Oh,
did you
right.
just stab me in the heart,
Yeah.
ma'am? Sorry.
Oh, okay." Uh,
Yes. So this is coming at a perfect coaching moment, right? Right?
yeah.
It's a God designed moment. Okay, so how did that make you feel?
Um, Not enough.
Hmm.
Not good
Yeah,
enough. Not ready.
which is so funny to me. So, and basically her suggestion was up your science GPA, up your DAT score,
Yeah,
correct?
and
Okay.
rewrite, get help
Okay.
on your writing stuff, the
And
essays.
just, yeah, increase what you can on your application. Okay. And change it up because you don't want the same application. They want to see a change, right? They want to see something that you're doing that's different. Well, getting your oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Registered dental assistant license. You're about to get that. That's one thing that'll go on there. You're working full-time in the dental office, which you were working part-time before, and now will be a dental assistant, not just, I don't know what you were before, a tech.
Yeah, sterile tech and yeah, sterile tech
Okay.
basically.
So having all that experience on your belt is already something great. You're going to be studying for the DAT, correct? And retaking that,
As soon as I graduate.
which, yeah, as soon as you graduate, because it's too much to try to finish all your classes.
I wanna,
So
and that's what I didn't do right the last time is I didn't spend enough time doing just the studying. Like I didn't give myself the chance to do well on the exam because I just didn't make the time for it. Didn't have the time for it. Tried
yeah,
to,
well, you were in full-time school and also working.
I was
And I
working
think
2
at the
jobs.
time you were working two jobs. Yeah,
I
you
was
were
working
working two
2 jobs
jobs. I know,
and going
right?
to school. Yeah, it was not.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So again, there's another thing for you to write down. Like, don't forget that the last time you studied for the DAT, you were working two jobs and in school full time. Okay, that's a big deal for you to understand that. And by the way, this is just like any standardized test. Faith, I think you took it twice, and one time you did better on one section and worse on the other, and then the next time it flipped, right? You did better on the section that you studied extra for, and then
Yeah,
you did a little worse on the section that you did well on the first time, which is
yeah,
so often the case, right? It's like, oh, I concentrated on that, got better at that, but whoops, that one fell.
yeah,
So I really think by taking it even just a third time without studying, you would probably get a better balanced number, which would have made you way more highly competitive, right? If you'd gone up a few points in
yeah.
your DAT, correct? Okay. So So here's the deal. I want to just address the elephant in the room. Like what is your biggest fear right now?
Probably that just that I'm not capable of the scores that I need to get noticed. Not
Okay, can you
capable of the numbers. I'm scared
you
of
might need to write that one down. Not I'm not capable of hitting the scores. What else is homeless Bob telling you? Obviously the lady, are you even going to apply this year?
um, I've also got you don't have enough time to fix everything. You don't have enough time to get the GPA up.
Okay, write that down. Anything else going on?
Um, I mean, also like when I did the dental school tours, we got to talk to some of the students who were into dental school, and basically all of them were like, "Yeah, I just studied all summer for the DAT. I wasn't working, I wasn't taking classes. That's all I did, and I got a 24, which is, by the way, like a really amazing, or like a 27, which is like almost perfect. Like, and then I'm looking at it going, well, I kind of have to work, and I kind of have to take some classes if I want my GPA up, and I kind of have to, like, I can't do that, and it like I feel like because I can't do that, I can't, like, I don't have the ability to get that high score. I don't
Okay. Okay. So is there anything else that you're battling? Like write them all down for me. Is there anything else?
know. I mean, that's most of it. Just that
Okay.
they're gonna they're I oh, I'm afraid that I can't convey how much I want to be in dental school. Like I feel like they're gonna look at my application sometimes and go, she's just saying that.
Mm,
Everybody just says everybody says they like volunteering. Everybody says, but I
mm.
don't know how to
Express it.
express that I really like it's in my bones. Like that's why I'm here again. I'm back. I'm not quitting. I'm not done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, write that down. Okay, let's take them one by one really quick. And by the way, I just want to say out loud, I know we haven't gotten down to breaking down to an action plan, but this is the process. This is the process of going from your vision to your action plan that's executable. If you don't address some of the homeless Bob thoughts or the limiting beliefs or limiting thinking, and remember, beliefs are just thoughts you keep thinking. Doesn't make them true. I'm not saying they're all untrue, but I'm saying beliefs are just thoughts you're continuously thinking, right? So, how do we combat that? Well, one, we shine light on them, which is what we're doing right now. And two, we look at how true they are. And then three, we decide what will serve us. So, whether they're true or not doesn't really matter. If that thinking doesn't serve you, you don't have to do it. So, let's take them one by one, Faith. So, what's the
But
first one?
I've got one more
Oh,
actually.
good. Good. I'm glad. Go ahead.
That everyone else is a better applicant than me.
Oh, okay. Let's write that one down.
Like,
Everyone else on the planet. Yeah. Isn't it funny? Like you giggle because sometimes when they're out of your head and on a piece of paper or you're talking through with someone, you're like, well, that's stupid. But you can't see it when it's in your head. And the problem is if you can't fix your own head in your head. It's too hard. You
yep,
have to have another person or you have to at least write it out. If you just journal it out sometimes, which I'm a big fan of journaling. Sometimes I can see stuff, I can have insights that I could never have any other way. So, okay. So let's take them one by one. So what's the first one?
I'm not capable of getting the scores.
Okay. I am not capable of getting the scores I need. All right. So is that true?
No,
Okay. And you know that why?
I I've taken standardized tests before. The ACT, I killed it. I killed it on the ACT. I mean, like going into college, like I killed it on those tests. I did pretty good on the SAT. I didn't do great. Did well enough to be competitive on the
Got
SAT.
to write it down. Yep, write that down. So when that pops into your head that I can't get possibly the scores, then you're going to pop directly to I did it on the ACT and the SAT, and I took them more than once, and I killed it. And
Yeah,
what I do, I study for it. That's all. You study for it, right? That was the prep.
yeah.
You studied for it. Okay. So that's one. Okay. Anything else that comes up around that says it's not true that I can't get a better score or I can't get a good enough score?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you try as long as it goes up.
Oh, write that down. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So does basically it doesn't matter how many times you try as long as it goes up. And I've done this before. Do you feel like that negates the thought of I can't get a high enough score?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to be sure we're wiping it out with truth, right? We're wiping the lie out with truth. I know, you know, I can give you another one. So just because I know you so well, since you're my daughter, you took a third grade test in preschool. You had to pass a third grade exam to skip kindergarten. And the reason that we did that was because you were a late September birthday, but every teacher that had ever had you was like, you got to get her through. She doesn't need kindergarten. You got to get her through. Right. So whereas if the school system, you would have had to wait a whole nother year to go into kinder and then first. And so but I remember you taking the test and I was like, well, we'll take the test and see. We didn't study for it. You didn't study for it, Faith. You just took the test. And if you remember, you were the last one there. Do you remember that? And you know why? Because even in your 5-year-old, 4-year, 5-year-old brain, you were worried about it being right. Do you remember that? You're worried about being right. I remember your first grade teacher, Mrs. Garner, shout out to Mrs. Garner, saying Faith erases stuff and rewrites it all the time. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Like,
So
no.
homeless Bob was you were telling yourself it way back then. Look what happened. You took the test and you passed it and you skipped. So basically that might be another one on your list. And I don't know if it is. So I'm just asking the question. Are you saying to yourself, if it takes me a whole year, like if it doesn't just take me this summer, I reapply, get in. If it takes me from June all the way to next summer to apply and get in, that I'm behind. Are you telling yourself that at all?
Yes. Yeah.
Write that down because that's not true either. First of all, you're
I
ahead.
feel like I'm behind and I'm graduating on I'm one of the only people in my entire friend group that is graduating on time from UT, which is hard. And I still think that I'm behind
Okay,
because
so
I just didn't.
I'm so glad that came up. So, okay, you need to write that down. Write that down for yourself to combat that thought. First of all, you're not behind. You are perfectly on time. I just want to say out loud to everybody who's listening to this podcast, you are in exactly the right place for what you need to accomplish here on earth. You cannot possibly be off track because God's on your side and he fixes everything. He will put you back on the path. He will give you double for your trouble. Like, hello, you could not have gotten here without learning what you learned. Now we're taking ourselves and going from here to the next space, which is going to be a whole lot of learning. Don't think of learning and growth as a backseat or a back, like that you're somehow going backwards. It's just not true. You're just evolving. Like, again, I bring up the dumb analogy, but it's so true. Like, you would never say to a toddler, wow, you're going to be a terrible walker. Why don't you just sit down? You're just going to have to scoot for the rest of your life. You're never going to walk. You would let them fall down as many times as they needed to learn how to walk. And it takes a lot of falling. It takes a lot. It's the process of success. Success takes failure. It takes losing sometimes because you can't learn if you just win, 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 win. Like, when do we decide that that's what we needed to do, was like win 24/7 and get the goal 24/7, or we're not making progress? Like, hello. So you need to tell yourself, one, you're not behind. You're actually ahead. One, you are 21 years old and about to graduate college. How many 21-year-olds already have a degree? So you're already a year ahead of most of your peers. So if you take this whole year, right, you're going to be 22 when you get into dental school, maybe.
If I
So,
this cycle 22, if I get a next cycle 23.
okay, but still, a lot of people are going to be 28. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no time frame, and there's no judgment in the world of, wow, Faith is 23 and she just got into dental school. What? Nobody's sitting in judgment of you. Not one person on the planet will care. Your patients, your orthodontic patients will not care what age you were when you got in. They won't care what your DIT score is. They won't care what your GPA is. They won't care. They will care about how much you know, how much you care about them, and how good you are at your job. Like, that's it.
Yep.
So you can let go of all that judgment. Okay. Because who cares? What if you needed this year to get cash flow, to learn something that would have ruined your dental school experience? What if, I mean, if we're going to play the, I'm making up stories game, let's make up stories that serve you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least let's make up stuff that helps you get to where you want to go instead of making up stuff that's just not true.
One of the things that I have been telling myself that I feel like I've been very proud of is because I realized that I need a break. Like UT was hard. I'm burnt. I'm burnt. I'm really burnt out. And to just work and do nothing but work is going to be so helpful. Like to just take care of me and just take a second and then like regroup and do the dental school thing. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to forget how to study. I'm not going to forget how to study in a year. Not. That's stupid. That's made up. But yeah.
Yeah, but think about last year. Okay, you were 20 to this year. Have you learned some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be true from this year to next year. So you can let go of needing it to be on a particular time frame. Now, like UTSA to UT, that doesn't mean you forget the goal, right? That doesn't mean you have to go, well, that goal, I'm just giving up. No, that's not what we're doing here. All we're saying is it's okay, whatever the time frame is, God's timing is perfect. We know that, we believe that. So if you need this year to calm down, to calm your brain down, to make some cash flow, to learn what adulting looks like, and just not have your head so spun up, man, do you know how much better you're going to do when you get to dental school? So write that down for yourself. If this takes me a whole year and not just a few months that I can cram for the DAT and try to take a class, right? One class isn't probably going to move your GPA much, but it's a start. But if you just took one class at a time, I mean, one class in the fall, right? You have to look at what is possible. What would the GPA do, or what would the DAT score do if you were allowing yourself the time to study and the time to get it in and the time to not feel pressure, pressure, pressure? And by the way, I just want to say out loud as a coach to everyone listening, if you're feeling pressure, and I don't mean this rudely, because there are some things that are pressure, right? You've got rent due, you've got a mortgage due, you've got whatever, right? There's deadlines that are serious. But in general, okay, the only person that can put pressure on you is you. It's true. Because no one lives in your head, right? But you and homeless Bob. The mean negative voice in your head, or enemy, or whatever you want to call it. But really, whether it's your parents' expectations, whether it's your boyfriend's expectations, whether it's that lady in the admissions office expectations, I mean, that admissions lady doesn't rule anything. She's not on the board to let you into any dental school, correct?
Yep.
Right. So she has no say. If it's God's plan for you to get in with one more application this summer, you'll get in. You might need to write that one down too. Like, you've got to trust that if you're supposed to go to X, Y, or Z dental school, and you upping your DAT score this summer is the thing that triggers you to get in, you're going to get in. Guess what? If you don't apply, you have no chance. Right? So you might as well apply. But it may take a year, and it's okay to take a year. And if it takes a year, just know that that's God lining up the right dental school for you. Right? What if you would go to a dental school and it would lead you down a not great path, or you would learn things that weren't great for your profession? I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons that we can make up that are reasons that would be a reason that you need this. Does that make sense? So don't get stuck on the homeless Bob stuff. So okay, let's go to the next one. What's your next thought?
Um, I can't convey my truth to the schools.
Okay. So is that true?
Don't believe me. That is not true.
Okay, why do you know that's not true?
Um, because I'm giving them my truth.
Right? Because well, first of all, you know your truth, right? I mean, nobody could convince you that you don't really want to go to dental school.
Yeah,
I mean, you know this is what you really, really want to do right now. And we also know, hello, I was a physical therapist. Anything can change. We know that too. I'm not putting any pressure on anything for you. But I'm just saying, for right this moment, this is what your direction. So it does it do you any value, does it help at all to tell yourself, well, I somehow am not going to be able to write that in a way that they really know me versus somebody else?
no,
Because can you control what other people think?
nope,
Nope. Can you control how they feel?
nope.
Nope. That is all due to their thinking, their perspective, their life experience. You have zero control over that. So do you see how that's like a really kind of crazy thought? Because it's like, well, I don't, if they had a bad day and read your essay, even if it was perfectly conveyed, and they were like, like a light shining down on your application. So, for middle school, they could literally be like in a bad mood and not see it.
Yep.
Okay. So you don't control that. That is out of your control. What do you control?
Um, what I write, what I say, what I believe, what I turn in.
Yes. And you can go get help with that. You
Yeah.
can go, we were talking about somebody does that work, right? Helps you with the application. Oh, you're taking a workshop,
Yes.
taking a workshop on dental school applications. Y'all, did y'all know there was a dental school application workshop that just happened to be just now for Faith? Does that seem like interesting timing?
In a week.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that funny that lady just told you, rah, 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 and here you had a workshop? Like, come on. Like, if that isn't a God sign for you, like, it reminds me of Bruce Almighty, when Jim Carrey, if y'all have ever watched that movie, Jim Carrey's like, would you just give me a sign? And there's like a sign and like a little physical signs like stop, danger, no, whatever it was. I can't remember the scenario, but it was hilarious because I'm like, that's how God works. He gives you a whisper, then he gives you a nudge, then he starts to yell at you, then he like hits you with the 2x4. And I usually have to get hit by the 2x4 before I hear it. So if the fact that a workshop is scheduled a week from when that lady said meh, 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 to you, is it true? I don't know what else would be,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay, keep going. What else? Anything else on the list that we haven't covered?
That everyone else is a better applicant.
Ooh, that one's so good. Okay, everyone else is a better applicant. Let's go over that. Is that true?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, how do you know that that's not true?
Because there's thousands of people who didn't get in.
Okay, so write that down for yourself. So if thousands and thousands of people across the United States didn't get in, then not every applicant can be better than you.
And there are lots of dentists who suck and they got in. I'm sorry, but
Awesome, Faith. That was awesome. Great insight. Write that down. Okay, so again, does it that is just another truth that you uncovered, an insight to say, do they even pick the right people? No. Mm-mm. I mean, we've already talked about some people that did get in or got offers to get in. We haven't talked about that, but you're like, oh my gosh, they're like terrible to work with, etc. Right? So I'm just saying out loud, like you've observed all over the city, you've done a lot of you've just done a lot of research on what you want to do now. And so you know that there are people out there that are not good. Yeah.
or are
And
gonna drop
and
out, or are gonna quit, or are gonna whatever.
yeah, or they're not dedicated or Yeah, or whatever. Point is, and I mean, me too. I remember this for PT school. Me too. The thing that you have to remember is your path is already a winner. Like everybody's path is on track. You too, right? So this goes to I have a business coach. I'm doing some business coaching for somebody right now that had in her head that, you know, like there's just no customers, there's just no customers, there's just no customers. And that scarcity lack thinking was blocking her from finding customers, right? If you think, oh my God, if you're desperate, and I just want to say that out loud to you, Faith, if you're desperate, I just want to get in, you know, like that energy is real. And I mean, we, you know, this because growing up with me, like I believe in the energy thing. I believe that everything quantum physics is true. Like we all emit an energy, and desperation is not an energy that attracts you what you want. So if you so desperately want something or your life is terrible, it's very hard to attract it in that mode. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So we were talking about this customer situation. And first of all, it was just a simple thing. She had not identified who her customer was, and she was not believing that her customer was out there. So if you think, lack on any scale, right? I'm never gonna get it. Da 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 da. If that's the homeless Bob statements, we got to battle that first because you cannot attract what you want in that desperation place and that lack thinking place. Now, when you think of it like there's more than enough. So I want to insert a thought. We're going to work on this now. We want to insert on some thoughts that serve you now. Okay, we're going to start to insert some. So let's flip some of those beliefs. The first one would be there are plenty of dental schools in the US that would love to have me as a student, right? And that I would be thriving in their school. I would thrive there. Something like that. Whatever, you can put it in your words. Let's flip some of the other statements. Give me something else.
I had that I'm not capable of hitting the scores.
Okay, so let's flip that. What are you going to say to that?
Mm, Well, first of all, I am capable of getting those scores, and I'm going to get the exact score that I need to get me exactly where I need to go.
Love it. Write that down. You are capable because you've done this before. You've studied for an exam like that in standardized test and killed it. So you know you can do it. And you know the right school and the right fit is going to be there for you. And by the way, I would add to that, and if you don't have time or energy to do the class this summer, I mean, I don't know how much one class is going to make a difference anyway, right? Maybe you need to evaluate that. Like, what would that move? I don't know. Are you worried about your science GPA or overall GPA?
Both.
Okay.
Both,
So,
but if I take the science classes and do well, it's going to move both.
right. So that's your answer. You do the one that gives you the most bang for your buck. So look at that. Like if I took one class this summer and studied for the DAT on the side while working full time, which I know is a lot, um, what would that do to my GPA? Is it worth taking a class this summer, or should I just concentrate on the DAT?
I don't think so. I think what I want and what I know that DAT is fixable. And sort of if you have a GPA that's rough, but you have reasons like working two jobs and going to a really hard university, if your DAT score is like stellar,
Yeah, they know you're capable.
you know you're capable,
Okay, so then, maybe that's an answer, or maybe that's a direction to go is, okay, I'm going to plan on not taking a class this summer. I'm just going to study.
at least for the summer, and then it's taking in the fall.
And then you're going to apply with that DAT score, a better essay, blah, 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 and then start in whatever that would be late August. Once you've already done the DAT, then you're going to start on, okay, now I'm going to take science classes.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with, I think that's amazing. I think that's an amazing revelation. And understanding that if you don't get in, which you're not really going to know till next February. So I feel like this is a better plan because if you can only control so much. So you're going to study your butt off for the DAT and then kick butt on the DAT. maybe even take it twice, right? That would be a possibility if you had to. That's okay. And then in August, you're going to start on some fall classes to start upping your science and your overall GPA.
Yeah.
And that will be your backup plan so that you don't miss this next one, the next cycle. The
Yes.
hard part about these professional schools is they only start one time a year. And so it just takes a whole
Oh,
nother
yeah.
year. You can't like do spring semester or something, pick up.
Then you only have, even by the time you find out you don't get in, even though it's been a year since you applied, you have 6 months after knowing you didn't get in to prepare for the next application cycle.
Right. And you're currently finishing up a degree. So you're already, yeah,
So,
maxed out. So does that make sense to you though? Does that feel better than what you were trying to do?
yeah.
More doable. So the thing is, does it really, let's just address this one too. Does it really matter? Like how much does it matter if you get in February versus okay, you get in the next February? Like, does it really, is it going to kill your life?
No.
No.
No, and that takes so much stress away because I feel like I can focus. Because the DAT was really big for me because I didn't study right the first time. And like the big thing for me is that I really want to study for it right this time because I know I'm capable of getting a higher score and I almost need that higher score. And if I take the DAT and I get a great score, but I still don't get in, I can use I don't have to retake it again. If I have a great score, then I just work on the GPA. Like it just takes a
Beautiful.
lot of stress away just focusing on a DAT. Instead of
Beautiful.
trying to also do what I've been doing for 4 years, which is do everything all the time, all at once, constantly.
Love it. I love this. I love this plan. Okay. So I'm going to kind of, do we cover everything? Did we flip all the statements really quick? I just want to be sure we flipped them all.
The only one we didn't flip was that. Oh, we didn't flip two. We didn't flip um, that everyone else is a better applicant.
Okay. All right.
I am
So
the
let's flip that one. What
I
would
am
be a better statement
I am
that
the
serves you?
I am the ideal applicant for dental schools.
Okay. I'm the ideal applicant. And maybe put in there why. Why are you the ideal applicant? Because if you don't have proof, your brain will kind of reject it. So what's the proof that you're the ideal applicant?
I work hard. I don't quit.
Okay. I work hard. I don't quit. I think you have a passion for this.
Passion. Yep.
It's your passion. I would concentrate on that word too, because I think that's what you're trying to convey in your applications as well, is your passion. So that's another one we didn't flip, right? Was the writing.
That was the other one that I
So go to, I am capable of expressing my passion for this field. And the other proof is I'm going to a workshop to make sure I know how to express it. I mean, hello. One thing I know about you is you're not going to stop just because you need help or work or to learn something. That's not who you are. And never has been. You've always been a go after a person, right? So is it starting to look at all these limiting beliefs? You're starting to go, oh, you know what? Everything you've really wanted, you've gone after and pretty much gotten.
yeah.
And anything that you might go, well, it kind of fits in the I didn't get it category. You kind of, in hindsight, when you look back on it, don't you kind of see why, or that it may not have served you, or that it taught you something really important? Right. Okay. So as long as you can kind of see that, I just want to make sure we kind of cover all of that. So let's, I want to go ahead and stop right here and we'll do part 2 on taking you from vision to your action plan, just because this was a lot and amazing. And I just want to give everybody a minute to like have a breath and we'll do a part 2. So I want to just say to everybody, thank you so much for listening. I just cannot tell you, it makes such a difference to me that this is helping you. It has been a dream for me for 10 years, or a thought in my head, like I should probably do this. And I just never pulled the trigger. So I'm really grateful when you give me feedback and let me know that it's helping you. And will you do me a huge favor and hit like and hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode? This year in 2025, we're going to be doing weekly episodes. So you will have a lot more content and you want to keep up to date. So I would really appreciate that. And if this helped you, send it to a friend. somebody's struggling with some limiting beliefs or some sabotaging thinking, just say, hey, Joan did this coaching. You got to listen, and send it to them so they'll listen. I just want to reach as many people as are assigned to me. I'm not trying to be, whatever, the daddy warbucks of the podcasting world. I'm just trying to reach the people that need to hear this message. So help me do that by sharing it with a friend. And again, I just want to say, like I do every episode, that I want you to know that if you have a dream in your heart, that God gave you that dream. It's not random. It's on purpose because you're here right now in this season in the perfect time to accomplish this dream that you have. And if he has given you the dream, then he's given you everything in your path that you need to complete it. All the right people, all the right circumstances. It's your job to do this process like we did with faith so that you believe. Okay, have a great day. Just know I love you and I believe in you. You can do it.